Okay, students, we're coming back and doing the checkpoint for 5 through 8. Okay, so I'm hoping that you have done this already off screen and have your answers here ready to check. All right, so 5 says x squared minus 5x plus 4. Okay, so again, I'm looking at my last term, which is a positive 4, but I need to have the factors themselves combine into a negative 5. So I know I got negative 1 and negative 4, right? I got negative 2 and negative 2. Well, I know negative 2 and negative 2 can't do it because that would be a negative 4. But negative 4, negative 1, and negative 4 are my factors. So this factors into x minus 1 times x minus 4. Okay, now let's look at number 6. Um, x squared minus 4x plus 4. Oh, okay, I can almost use this factoring right here. Okay, so here I'm looking for positive 4 again, right? But they have to combine into negative 4. So now for this second problem, this is going to be my, my factoring. So here it is. So it will be x minus 2 times x minus 2, right? If you FOIL it, you're going to get this trinomial back. You'll get your positive 4 here on the end, and then you'll get the negative 4. It'll be negative 2x plus negative 2x in the middle. The first term, of course, will be x times x, which is x squared. All right, so let's do number 7. X squared minus 8x plus 7. All right, so I'm looking for factors of positive 7, right? That will combine into negative 8. Well, 7's prime, so I really only have, my choices are really going to be this, negative 1 and negative 7. That combines into negative 8. So I know this is going to factor into x minus 1 times x minus 7. All right, and then number 8, I get, that's x squared minus 7x plus 12. Okay, so I'm looking for positive 12, factors of positive 12 that combine into negative 7. And I can start, and I know they both have to be negative because my middle term is negative. So negative 1 and negative 12, well, that's negative 13. That doesn't do it. Negative 2 and negative 6, well, that's negative 8. I'm getting closer, but that's still not it. Negative 3 and negative 4. Okay, ding, ding, ding. This is my combination that's going to work because that will combine into negative 7 in the middle term. So this is going to factor into x minus 3 times x minus 4. Okay. All right, so you've done that pattern now. So they're going to give us yet another pattern. Okay, it's still similar. The thought process is still the same. But now, this is, okay, so we're looking at example 3. Okay, we got x squared minus 11x minus 12. All right, so what's going to happen now is you notice that the last term is negative, right? And for me to multiply two factors together and get a negative, that's telling me that I'm going to have a positive factor and a negative factor. And they still have to combine into this middle factor, okay? And that means that the absolute value of the negative factor is got to be higher than the absolute value of the positive factor because the middle factor is going to end up being negative. So that means, so we'll do the smaller factors here on the left and the larger factors on the right. So that means the ones on the right have to be negative, okay? So what are the factors of negative 12? Well, I can have a positive 1 and a negative 12, right? And that would combine into negative 11. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is it. All right, just right out of the box. Okay, we hit it. So that means that this is going to factor into x plus 1, okay, times x minus 12. Okay, if you FOIL this, and I definitely recommend you FOIL these when you're done just to make sure you did it right. X times x, there's my x squared, x times 12, negative 12x, 1 times x, there's my positive x. When I combine that, that will combine into a negative 11x. And then lastly, positive 1 times negative 12, that will give me my negative 12. All right, so why don't you hit the pause button right now and do checkpoints 9 through 12. And then come back and press play, and then you can see what I did with it and check it against yours. So here's the checkpoint. So if you're witnessing this, I'm assuming you have already pressed pause and have completed 9 through 12. All right, so 9, that's going to be x squared minus 5x minus 6. I got to say, most students mess up this combination more than any. The ones with 5x and 6, I don't know. They it's for some reason, because 6, you can have 6 and 1 and 3 and 2, okay, as factors of this. But we're looking for factors of negative 6, right, that are going to combine into negative 5. I know I'm going to have a positive and a negative factor. That's how I'm going to get the negative 6. And I know the larger absolute value has to belong to the negative factor. So I'll put the larger absolute value on this side. So I start off with 1 and negative 6, okay? That multiplies into negative 6. Oh, and look at that. It combines into negative 5. So there it is, right out of the box. X plus 1 times x minus 6 is how that factors. All right, 10. X squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, so I'm looking for factors of negative 10 that are going to combine into negative 3. Again, the larger absolute value is going to have to belong to the negative term. Okay, so, all right, factors of 10. 1, negative 10. Okay, that combines into negative 9. That's not going to do it, right? Next one, 2 and negative 5. Yes, there it is, because this will combine into negative 3. So my factors, therefore, are x plus 2 times x minus 5. All right, number 11. Okay, x squared minus 13x minus 14. Okay. All right, so I'm looking for factors of negative 14 that are going to combine into negative 13. All right, yeah, I think I already know what that. And of course, the larger absolute value is going to belong to the negative factor. Okay, so that's 1 and negative 14, right? So that's going to be x plus 1 times x minus 14. All right, last one. 12, at least this checkpoint, I mean, x squared minus 6x minus 7. Okay, so I'm looking for factors of negative 7 that combine into negative 6. And again, it's going to be 1 and negative 7, right? 1 and negative 7, I almost wrote 6 there. 1 and negative 7 combines into negative 6, right? So x plus 1 times x minus 7. All right, so that's it for this checkpoint. Come back in the next video and we will do a little bit more of this section. If we can possibly finish it, I will.